from the lighthouse shine. Oh, shine on me. I wanted to tag this text for just a few minutes and talk about a prescription for pressured people. A prescription for pressured people. We're living, thank you, Urshus, in some trying times. These days are filled with swift transition. The lyrics said, "Naught on earth unmoved can stand." If it's not one thing that's pushing us, it's another thing that's pulling us. It's almost that soon as you solve one problem, two or three more tap you on the shoulder and say, "Handle this." We're living in some days when we honestly feel like giving up sometimes, because it seems like every time I make one step forward, when the dust is settled, I'm still behind. I wanted to look at this because I do know that we walk around with anxiety on the tip of our spirit. We're all anxious. We just can't deal with what life brings. We're worried about a phone call. We're worried about employment. We're worried about paying bills. We're worried about families. We're worried about who's our enemies. We're just worried. And I wanted to look at it for a minute because this restlessness underneath the skin that is attacking us mentally is affecting us physically. You do know that it starts in the mind, manifests itself in the body. And I wanted to look at it for a minute and see if we can find a prescription to help us, because I think that popping pills is not really the solution. Because the more we take, the more we have to take, and the more we have to take, the larger the milligram become, and it just become that we are just pill junkies. I got pills in my pocket and you got them in yours, and we're taking them trying to solve some of our problems that I really think that there's a solution that does not involve a bottle. I wanted to look at it for a minute because, you know, this worry, this nervousness, this tension that we feel every day, we just waiting on the next shoe to drop, the next problem to come. And really, you can't function like that when you're worried about something else bad happening while you're already going through something. It brings about some problems that we just can't solve, and they manifest themselves while we're sitting on the table in the doctor's office, and he starts telling us stuff like we have high blood pressure and we got ulcers, and if we don't slow down, we're going to have the tendency and the propensity, the inkling to have something worse happen to us physically. And I wanted to come help us out for a minute this morning because some of what you're going through is self-imposed. Some of what you're going through, you're doing it to yourself. Now, 4 or 5 of y'all won't agree with me, but I think you ought to hear me out. I believe that sometimes we bring on ourselves something that really does not belong on us. It was the lyrics who said, "Take your burdens to the Lord and leave them there." I got a sneaky suspicion he had read 1 Peter 5:7, where it says, "Casting your cares upon him, for he careth for us." Look at it in the King James Version. It's ETA. He keeps on caring for us. And this restlessness results in physical, emotional, and spiritual burnout. Have you ever been so exhausted mentally that you just couldn't think straight? You sitting up trying to figure out what you were just thinking a minute ago. You have to almost try to find a reset button. I'm sorry. I apologize. I didn't mean to say that to y'all. Can I just testify that sometimes I'm so mentally overwhelmed until I forget what I just thought about, trying to think about what I'm trying to think about. I talk about me, Herman, because y'all want to act like y'all got this thing straight. It's sometimes your mind can just register blank. And you almost have to just... Am I in here by myself? You have to sit there for a minute and just try to catch up with you and see what you were thinking about. And sometimes honestly, you have to hit rewind and go back a couple of moments beyond where you were to get a running start to get back to where you need to be. I thought I had something there. And so sometimes I'm so mentally overwhelmed, I just can't think straight. You ever been so physically tired until you just couldn't find the right position to sleep? You just tossed and turned all night long. You just couldn't, you never really got sleep. Eyes were closed. You were laying in the bed, but when the clock went off, you felt almost as if you were wrestling with a bear and lost. I thought I had 5 people came to help me this morning. It just, no matter how much rest you thought you had, you didn't get enough, because you could never engage into that deep sleep because you just was restless. And then because of my mental fatigue and my physical fatigue, it brings me to being spiritually fatigued, where now I can't even hear the voice of God. And there was a time when I could hear him clearly. And now this restlessness has come upon me, and the Bible is bland, and the songs don't do nothing for me. They don't move me no more. And I wanna blame it on the musician. I wanna blame it on the choir. I want to blame it on a whole lot of other folk, but the truth of the matter is, I am at a point where I just need somebody to write me a prescription to handle this pressure I'm dealing with. Restlessness causes you to make the wrong decisions in life. It can make a nice person mean. Restlessness can it can cause us to become irresponsible. It can cause us to be short-tempered. You know, we used to could handle a lot of stuff. We can't take nothing now. We just fly off the handle at the least little. Restlessness will have you speaking in tongues and they won't be anointed. And I'm in here now. And then after you get through saying what you said, then you tell somebody, look at what you made me do. You ain't never blessed nobody out. And after you got through blessing them, you said, now you made me do that. You'll catch that on the way home, because it wasn't no blessing. It was yeah. Restlessness can cause a person to become unproductive. You know, before you got to this point, you used to just get stuff done just like that. And now you can go a whole 24-hour period and sit down and wonder, what have I done? You ever been there when the day is over with and you just can't see? Only thing you can see you done all day was breathe. Because you're still alive. Just had a list this long that morning, and at the end of the day couldn't check off nothing. You ever been there? Boy, some of y'all acting you there now. It gets us and it grips us, and it will take control of our lives. And we'll just be walking around as if we are in a mental daze. David said, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He styles his relationship with God as that between a shepherd and a sheep. Sheep are needy creatures who do not know how to care for themselves. So much so that David praises God for being able to provide rest for all of us who are restless. David said, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. In other words, it's God who gives me the rest. Not Nitol, Somanex, or some other sedative that I take. Sleeping pills, they might put you to sleep, but they won't give you rest. And so David said, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. There's a couple things I want to point out to us as we write this prescription here. First thing I think we ought to do is we ought to realize our worth. And what causes us to have a problem a lot of time is because we don't understand how valuable we are. The reason most people tend to overwork is they confuse their worth with their work and what their work can obtain for them materially. In other words, I'm worth more than what I own. I'm going to slow down and help somebody here, because see, many of you value your value based on what you own. And if you are just worth what you have, you ain't worth much. I wasn't talking about you. I was talking to you. Our importance is not in the things we possess. Our importance is simply us. Sometimes you have to just tell yourself, I matter. You ever had to encourage yourself? It is us without anything added to us. We have value. Jesus said it like this. He said, a man's life consisteth not, Luke 12:15, in the abundance of things he possessed. He possesses, rather. And so now if Jesus said my life is not wrapped up in what I own, then my life must have more value than what I own. God so loved the world that he gave. I must be valuable. He gave his only begotten son. So sometimes you got to recognize it's not the watch on your wrist or the necklace around your neck that brings the value. You lend value to the jewelry. These clothes have no life unless they're on my back. That car you drove up in here has no ownership, no life unless you in it driving it. Move out of your house 6 months later. Can I get 5 people to help me? It will start deteriorating and rotting from the core, because the house takes on the life of those who live in it. Build it and don't move in it. It will start deteriorating and decaying, and pretty soon it will need to be demolished because there's no life in it. You bring the life to it, and you flip the coin and you call yourself living because of where you live. And the house would die if you move out. Preach, Larry. God said, you are so important to me. He said, I have engraved you on the palm of my hands. Anybody remember back in the day when you were courting and call yourself in love? You used to write people's name and numbers in your hand. Then miss right then forget and wash your hands. That was the end of that phone call. God didn't say he had written us in the palm of his hand. He said he has engraved us in the palm of his hand. So the first thing you got to do if you're going to get this prescription is you got to realize your worth. Stop letting other people punch your ticket. Yeah, stop letting other people tell you whether you value or matter or not. Every now and then, I just have to get in the mirror and encourage myself. Talk to me. Look at me and say, you look good. That's, because that's an opinion anyway. But beauty's in the eye of the beholder. I wish I had some help in here. And if I'm looking in the mirror and beholding me, I look pretty good. I'm not going to stand in the mirror and tell me, hey, you something ugly. If that be the case, y'all really need to come on and get me. We have to realize our worth, that we bring value to life. Secondly, you have to enjoy what you already have. Ecclesiastes said also that every man should eat and drink, enjoy the good of his labor. It is the gift of God. Sometimes you just got to take time and enjoy what you have and stop trying to get more. Now, drive the car you got sometimes. Spend some of the money you got sometimes. You got all this. Rich man died the other day, and they said, well, what did he leave? Everything. Left everything. Now I do try to plan to have something later, but now I don't plan on leaving y'all the whole lot. No, don't wait on me to die. Oh, when he die, I'm going to be sad. No, you're going to be upset. Yeah. Between the funeral home and the bills, ain't going to be. They're going to be like, he died broke. That's how I'm trying to go. Broke. Came here and didn't have nothing. I want to leave here and don't have nothing. Look, stop letting stuff control you to the point that you just sitting down looking at the bank account. It won't grow unless you put more in it. We can become so preoccupied with wanting more that we don't enjoy what we have. We can get caught up in that syndrome of wanting more, keeping up with the Joneses. That's a hard spirit to rebuke and to resist, because I'm telling you now, I'm not talking about the Joneses, but I'm talking about the Joneses colloquially. You know, that family that don't nobody know, but everybody trying to keep up with. They must manufacture money, because look, you ain't gonna never catch them. It's chasing a pipe dream. And what if I have a house where we bump into each other while we walk around? If it's filled with love, I got a home. But now if I got a house so big, I got to call Carol on her cell phone and ask her where she at in the house, and we don't see one another, we got a hotel. That's right. Can I get 5 of y'all to help me here? You know what? All your life to get what you think that the house that you want, and y'all don't speak to one another. Cafeteria. Man, you must be preaching in here, because they done got mad and you ain't been up about 10 minutes. They looking at you all crazy. This spirit of I just got to have more. When is enough enough? Yeah. Paul wrote in Philippians 4:11, he wrote this there. He said, I've learned in whatsoever state I am in to be content. He said, I've learned how to be full, and I've learned how to be hungry. Whatever state I'm in, I've just learned how to be content. And sometimes we just got to take time to enjoy what you have. You know, that's one thing that I made myself promise when I got grown. So when I get grown, I'm going to have a house, and I'm coming in every door. Now, some of y'all can help me, because we didn't get to come through the front door. You went to somebody's house, you didn't go to the front door. You went to the back door, side door, whatever door it was, but you didn't. And then they had this room they called the living room that didn't nobody live in. Plastic still on the couch. We set aside this mausoleum and say, now we living. Well, I live in every room. I mean, my wife say I live in them too much, but I got shoes in every room. Leave a pair here, a pair there, a pair everywhere. I just think that if it's a house to live in, you ought to enjoy it sometime. Hey, clean up every once in a while when she, when she just won't hush, then I clean up. But life is too short for you to build these museums and then get no enjoyment out of it. Well, this is my Sunday car. I just drive it on Sunday. Can I borrow it? I drive it Monday through Saturday for you. I've learned in whatsoever state I am to be content. We got to enjoy what we have. And then, thirdly, we need to limit our labor. Make time for other things besides work. That's why a lot of folks say, Pastor, I would come to church, but I'm working. Sometimes you just got to not work. I'm not promoting laziness now, because the Bible says if you don't work, you ought not eat. Now, don't get me wrong now. Don't go to my pastor, don't work. No, ain't what I'm saying. I'm saying that, you ought not be a workaholic. But when a person is too busy for God, then they kind of too busy. Why not labor all the time, man? Why not work all the time? Because, see, our marriage needs some of our time. Yeah. Our spouses need some of our time. Even though they tell us to go places, they don't really mean it. They need some of our time. Our children need some of our time. And Lord have mercy, our church sure need some of our time. Man, we come here late and leave early, and we in a hurry. Y'all right now, man, go on tune up so we can get just anxious, got to go somewhere. Sometimes you got to set aside. This is the day the Lord has made, and I choose to rejoice and be glad in it. They say, what you doing Sunday? I'm doing church. And so what time y'all get out when we get through? Look, you go to everything else you go to, you don't leave till it's done. They put you out the mall, put you out the bar, put you out the club. You last one tell the bartender, I'm going to holler at you, man. Come to church and you don't have to be put out here. So some of y'all ain't never shook my hand. Say, hey, man, I ain't got time to be standing out there shaking your hand. Just done missed a blessing again. You just don't know what it is to touch the man of God. It's a blessing in there now. Don't y'all knock me down when I come down here today, but there's I got to go and get through. But sometimes we just so caught up in work until we don't have nothing to show for it. Family gone, children don't know you. Look, resting was so important until God put it in the top 10. He put it right up there with thou shalt not commit adultery. He put it right up there with thou shalt not steal. Says 6 days shalt thou labor, and on the 7th day thou shalt rest. God knew that if we didn't get no rest, we'd be restless. He commands us in the 4th commandment. He said 6 days you ought to labor, and the 7th day you ought to rest. Now in Mark chapter 2, verse 27, Jesus said the Sabbath was made to benefit man because man needed rest. Worship offers us the opportunity to recharge our emotions. We come to worship. It gives us a chance to recharge our emotion. You don't want me trying, Dwayne, to crank a car with a dead battery. Or you finna mess up the starter and the alternator and some more stuff. And it's all because the battery is dead. Every now and then you have to recharge your battery. And so we come here to worship. We come here to disengage our minds and focus on God and tell him, Lord, fill us. And so we have to limit our labor. Then we need to adjust our values. Some of our values are out of whack. Jesus tells us an important story in Luke 12, 16 through 21 about a rich man. I don't have time to go there. But he tells us that you ought to be rich unto God and not unto yourself, because God doesn't have to take your stuff. No. He can look, He can leave all that stuff in the closet, all that stuff in the driveway, all that stuff in the bank, and pick you up. Then the question will be, whose shall these barns belong to this night? Your soul is required. Jesus said that, you know, he raises the question in Mark 8:36. I'm hearing to a close. He said, for what shall it profit a man if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul? God Almighty, I tell you, we got it wrong. We got it wrong. This stuff is supposed to serve us. We're not supposed to serve it. Paul admonishes Timothy, his son in the ministry. He said, listen now. He said, listen, I want you to hear me clearly. He said, listen, money is not evil. He said, but the love. Timothy, 1 Timothy 6:10, he said, the love of money is the root of all evil. Wow. Which while some have coveted after, they've erred from the faith, pierced themselves through with many sorrows. And money can't bring you joy. It leave you in the house of misery, but it won't bring you joy. And Jesus said really that this world is not where we ought to be trying to set up camp anyhow. Did you not hear him say? He said, lay up treasures in heaven where thieves and robbers cannot break through and steal. Why we have all this security guard? We worry about somebody taking our stuff. Look, I really don't want to be robbed, but all I do is ask you, don't let me be at home when you come. I can get some more clothes. I may not be able to get another me, so, man, this day and time, people don't want to run. Look, here, take it. Just leave me, take it. This stuff is stuff. Somebody say stuff. That's what it is. It's stuff. Right now, if you got a headache, them shoes you got on can't help you get rid of it. It might be causing it. Get behind in your bills. Ain't nothing in your closet that can help you catch up. We got to learn how to limit our labor. And then finally, we need to exchange our pressure for God's peace. Three kinds of stress and fatigue: physical fatigue, tired muscles, they can be replenished. Emotional fatigue, tired and weary emotions, inward feelings of despair. But spiritual fatigue is a dry spirit, and we haven't felt the movement of the Holy Ghost in a long time. That's why we keep talking about, you remember when church was church. Come on, talk to me for a minute. We always talk about, y'all remember we used to have church, we used to shout. What happened? We the same people. What happened? What changed that we can't shout no more? It could be that we are spiritually fatigued and hadn't had contact with God in a long time. David said, the Lord is my shepherd. He maketh me to lie down. See, sheep won't lie down. They won't lay down on their own. They'll keep walking till they drop. They are restless. But now he said, he maketh me to lie down. And look what he said. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. In other words, the shepherd provides what I need first, fills me up, and when I get full, I can lay down. And that's the only time a sheep will lie down, is when it's not in turmoil, free of harassments, free of flies, and free of predators. Because it knows that the shepherd is protecting it. And David said, he maketh me to lie down in green pastures. And I tell you, my brothers and my sisters, there are desires in my heart sometimes for more. But I thank God for what I already have. Every now and then, I look around and just thank the Lord. It is well with me as it is. I thank God that I do have clothes on my back. I thank him for a roof over my head. I thank him for a sound mind. Though there are those who will debate it, he woke me up clothed in my right mind. I thank him for help and strength, because I found out that there is no money that can pay for my next breath. But every time I breathe, I thank the Lord for another breath. Every time I take a step, I thank him for another step. Because if it wasn't for the Lord on my side, the enemy will have already won. But the Lord, he keeps on ordering my steps. He keeps on guiding my feet. He keeps on holding my hand while I run a big race. Do I have anybody in here who knows that all you got to do is relax and let the Lord have it? He's got power to do everything but fail. I heard Jesus saying, come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden. What you gonna do, Lord? He said, you come unto me, I'll give you rest. Do you hear me? The Lord, he's got the power to give us rest. Do you hear me? He's got power in the midst of the storm to give us rest. He's got power in the midst of our trial and tribulation to come in and give us rest. People don't know how you make it sometimes, but I want to testify. I'm making it because it's the Lord who's on my side. Do I have a witness who knows that he can for you? Is there anybody here today who knows that it's the Lord on your side? When your mother and your father are gone, the Lord will still be there. Do I have a witness here who knows that he will? Won't he do it? Won't he die? He'll make a way out of no way. I need 5 of y'all who can testify that the Lord, he's on your side. He's walking with you. He's talking with you. He's holding your hand. If you know he's real, let me hear you say, yeah! Shout yeah! Yeah! David said, he making me to lie down